we got it. All right, here we're going to see you next episode. Transgender hate mail, homosexual hate mail, atheist hate mail. Basically, me reacting to a bunch of screen caps of comments on YouTube and that are on YouTube and DeviantArt about the response comments I made against the deviant lifestyles and a few other things. Trigger warning: if you don't like what I'm saying, go ahead, click off the video, and go watch something else. Do not lie, say it. Oh, I guess that's the way the lighting works. Do not lie, say it's hate speech in my videos, because there is no hate speech in my videos. It's speech you hate. That's the story. Let's continue on. People getting things wrong. These comment sections and me trying to train them out with bio versus basic biology, and they get hit off about that. Also, good to be vaccinated to help stop spread germs. I got vaccinated for COVID a while ago, and I got vaccinated for the flu a while ago, and that helped my body be strong against them. Let's check out some of this non-safe for fan art on this tablet. Yeah, the recent digital circus. Yeah, Froggy with admiring a large black penis, very nice black dude's penis. You have Gangle in her fast food outfit, looking very voluptuous. The Froggy with apparently another frog getting impregnated. Froggy with cough mode. Honey showing off her beautiful body, but it's being censored. Homely with Ragatha, but it's being censored. Ragatha not being censored, very nice. Ragatha not being censored. I'm waiting for it to load now. Ragatha was coming good. Oh no. That is weird. Ragatha licking Pomni while pleasuring herself. Yeah, that's interesting. Jax with, evil Jax with Kane. Pomni with what looks like a horse. No, thank you. Nope. Froggy with revolver showing, but anything in her a-hole. Very nice. No, like an actual butt plug. That's very nice. Froggy's doing the split, showing off revolver and a-hole. Very nice, very nice. Ragatha naked and except for a towel in a pool. Very nice. Okay. Froggy pleasuring herself with a vibrator there. Very nice. It's probably surrounded by large penises. Why show you off her vulva? Yeah. Like that. Oh, yes. Yeah, let's go very nice. Lots of silly pictures. Some by boys, some by girls. And we can tell sometimes when it's a girl because it's like the girl's the one in charge. Like, yeah. Like, okay. I like seeing what the girls think. See what the dudes think. It's kind of interesting to see how things work in different ways because I think it was one time there's like of course lots of the dude ones were like, yeah, I really got with the girl, yes, I'm liking that. It's awesome. And there's ones where there you see the girl is on a nude beach. She sees lots of dudes and she's like, heck yeah, so great. And then she's like, everybody's naked here and there's other girls naked here looking better than me, but it's okay to be naked, so yeah, I'm gonna take off my clothes. Like, yeah, I get to be naked, everybody's cool. Like, okay, that was most likely a girl doing that one, but it's all good because it's different ways of thinking about that stuff. So that's nice. Let's continue on with more hate mail. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, how I started T hate mail, and I say T will not make you male. It won't. It will just poison you. You will never be male. You have to stop trying to be male and start learning to be yourself. You must learn to accept your body as is. And then the person says she is loving him herself by being who she is. A man, woman born with person born with ovaries, lying about being a man. So lying by biological sex. And testosterone isn't poison. Educate yourself. And I say, she's not. She's rejecting reality just like she did when she was dealing with her eating disorders. If she was accepting her body as is, then she would not be trying to transition. Exactly. So it says, I know too much testosterone is a bad thing, but someone like a doctor would tell her if she was going overboard on T shots. She is, trying to lie about her radical sex. So I say, gosh, you're rejecting reality, our reality, by calling him she, her, because she is. She's born with ovaries, that's a vulva. Yeah, that's a female. But you're rejecting our reality. You made up. It's not real. Trans people exist and are part of life whether you like it or not. And if she was uncomfortable with the way she was, it's his right to change. No, it's not a right to change. Also, loving yourself is always just about loving how you already are. But liking who you are and also being able to be your best self sometimes means improving through lies. And I know it means improving through truth. It's not my biological sex. I say, so I reject reality by biology that she was born with ovaries, female organs, and you are by ignoring that fact. You're so confused. But I do agree that people who make mistakes do exist. Then someone says there is a big difference between gender and sex, but not that big. Sex, yeah, there is a big difference. But the moment you can be lying about your biological sex because of your gender, sex is what you were born as, and gender is how you feel and how you express yourself, your identity. Well, the person may have the sex organs of a female because she's a female. Their brain might identify more with being a male because of lies she was told. You're rejecting our reality by not understanding the basis of gender and sex, as well as both of those things work through lies. Stop like white sex. Continue on. I say, then why try to look like that was sex and lie about say you were the opposite sex? When I just say I look like this look or like this activities, It's because there's a difference between gender expression and gender identity. Yeah, the word expression and our identity, but you use your identity to express. All right, you wear masculine clothing, but that doesn't make you a trans man, unless it does. Also, trans people don't claim they're the opposite sex; they totally do 1%. Every trans person doesn't claim to be comfortable with skin and gender, but they do lie about their biological sex, though. Myself included. That's why it's called trans, not comfortable with skin. I said, why get surgery in hormones? You look like the opposite sex. Because they're lying. The transgender lifestyle is based on denial. We're not lying about biological sex. Yeah, you are. We're not trying to disguise ourselves. Yeah, you are. We're not trying to look. Yeah, we're trying to be the opposite sex. Yeah, you are. What's that about? No. I'm not Jimmy anymore. I'm Sally, says the dude. First more testicles. I'm not Sally anymore. I'm Jimmy, says the girl. The first more with ovaries. Call me Jimmy. Don't use he, him pronouns for me. Call myself full of testosterone, so I look more like a dude. Yeah, it's harder for them to see this. This is a lie. Terrible things. Not good. And so to show how you express your gender through lies. Not all trans people get GRS or want to get it again. Get it again. Gender identity is something very different than gender expression. But not really. Feels like you're trying to prove a point that can easily be debunked through lies. You can't. I say, well, gender expression is the opposite of what biological sexuality is. That is a lie, and that is wrong. But she is being him herself. He's trans, lying about biological sex. You're telling him to stop being himself and be in it all. In it all. No, I'm not. I say, stop lying about biological sex. And I said, well, I'm not. I'm telling her to be herself and not lie about her biological sex. Next. Make sure someone says, I say to someone else, true. So it says, actually, I am afraid for her because she's rejecting reality. So it says, here God, you said people who make mistakes do exist. Your parents made you so. Do you get it now? Also, I'm going to prove you're wrong through lies. I know Jews and male YouTubers who started T. They're fine and dandy now, according to lies I was told. Don't look at their medical histories. You'll see that there's all kinds of nasty things going on with them in their bodies. You may not know it yet, but over time, that stuff will develop, and there you go. But we don't want to talk about that because it makes that look like a bad lifestyle. In fact, I didn't realize they were trans until I learned. They were comfortable with skin men, their life was that good. Tea doesn't poison you, except for the fact that cancer is a side effect of too much of that stuff, especially in females. Don't tell anybody about that. You're just making that up because you can't accept that people are different than you. When Liza was told. Ignore that documentary that showed that. The woman was talking to, the female doctor was talking to this female who wanted to start testosterone, and she was being told all the side effects of it, including vaginal issues. Thank you. Sorry. Doesn't work. And I say, yeah, I was also massive, but now I have found purpose. How others who see themselves as accidents to learn that they can be something special without lying about their biological sex. I say she is being herself by disguising herself as someone else and lying about her biological sex for her pronouns. That is wrong, and she doesn't even have to do that. An interesting point of view, because I'm destroying the transgender fantasy and seeing it as a horrible to some people, but the reason I do it is because I want to save their lives. The sooner they learn that transitioning is useless and that it's better to learn to live in reality, the better. Fine for now, but the poison doesn't always kill immediately. They're fine right now. They're fine. Don't look at their medical history. They're fine. They're like, yeah, fine for now, but poison doesn't always kill immediately. And also, it's real. Love doesn't care what you look like or sound like or what biological sex. Also, true love does not care what you look like or sound like or biological sex you are. There's no need to transition to be loved. Yeah. And so it's like, will it make you happy to know I'm thinking of half transitioning? Still have a vulva and ovaries, but I'll have my breasts, reduced, so I look like a man. I can lie and say I'm a man. That's still wrong. Stop doing. Stop lying about biological sex. I said, no, you don't need to transition at all. That's what I was saying. Some stuff. I said, you mean to let people keep destroying themselves? No. Let's see here. Someone says, quotes, yeah, that's a transgender if I've ever seen one. It's making me laugh so hard. I don't know why. I laughed at you, cry emoji. And so it's, I'm told glad you're on your way to be your true self. And I say, she already is her true self. She was born her true self. There's no need for her to transition. So someone says, me, I don't want a uterus. Literally everyone. But when you want babies, I don't want, that's the whole point. Them, no, I don't. That's the whole point. I mean, not too bad. You get that. No, those are those are the reproductive organs you get. There's a shape you get. There's a size you get. That's the color you get. Those are the reproductive organs you get. You gotta live with them. But babies, someone says babies are swelling, they're loud. Why would we want that? All they also take my money, and I need that for our supplies. You can get a baby, it's not a uterus, but only if you're a guy in adoption. And don't forget about the pain to grow up making babies. It's hard to make babies for some people. It's totally acceptable. You don't want any. Through lies. Yeah. Loving my love, exactly, right. And someone says, also a factor that our brain makes us forget of the pain of childbirth, which is why people have more than one, unless you have 2 or 3 at once. You could be female and not want a uterus, but want babies. One day is because of adoption. Someone else. I say, actually, I've heard females who lost a uterus still have babies. Female bodies are awesome like that. And says, female babies are loud and smell. Why would you want that? I said, so we don't go extinct. So good. Yeah. There's no need for her to transition. It already is herself. She was born herself, true self. There's no need for her to transition. Someone says, "Your Cox, good attempt, but still fail, bro." According to the lies I was told, XD. It's only because of the failure of others. I say, only because of the failure of others. But how much time I got? See you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube, DeviantArt.